Alright, hello everybody, this is Waldorf. And
this is Statler.
okay, is you awake over there? And we're going to be looking at
I'm late for my afternoon nap.
we're going to be looking at the Path of Ruin. This is the vermin swarms their private path, only they can have it.
Yes. And notice that their symbol is an upside down star, which means pentagram, because they're evil. Evil.
So you have this army? Is that what you're telling me?
I do not own this army, no.
Okay. Really? Alright, so let's get started. With the Path of Ruin, we have the lore... every time. We have the Path attribute, which is the Endless Masses. Range is 24, it's an augment, it lasts a turn. Target can claim combat score from up to 4 ranks, and gains fight in extra rank. For a horde army, great lore attribute.
Wonderful lore attribute.
It's a very nice one.
Only helps you in close combat, but...
Actually, kind of like one of the things I like about playing against the Vermin Swarm army with my orcs and goblins is my goblin steals this lore attribute every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like this lore attribute.
That's a very nice lore attribute. The base spell is Black Lightning. Casting value is 5. The boosted version is 8. Range of 24. 48 for the boosted version. It's a hex. It's a missile. It's damage. It's instant. Target suffers D6 strength 5, not 4. 5 hits with lightning attacks. If a 6 is rolled for the number of hits, the caster suffers 1 strength 5 hit in addition to the 6 hits to the target. So even though it fails, you still get your effect off.
So I guess this is the excuse to give you a casting value 5, strength 5 magic missile.
Yeah.
Because if you roll a 6, it wounds you as well.
Yeah, that's kind of how that works, yeah.
Mm.
So, yes. So a casting value 5, D6 strength 5, and you can spam this. Makes this very, very shooty.
It does have a drawback in that you can kill the guy with it, I guess. Kill yourself with it, right?
If you're down to 1 wound, yeah.
Well, I mean, you wound yourself and then a miscast finishes you off. Anyway, I think it does add a little bit of danger there. Anyway, just me.
Not that much danger. If it was a
maybe a 6/9
strength 5 hit and you didn't get the effect.
Oh, instead of the 6.
Okay. Then I would say that's danger. Then there's a chance that something can go wrong. Here you're still getting it, and it's kind of like a miscast. You're still getting the effect.
That's true. All right. Now that was Black Lightning. So we go to number 1 spell, which is Feed the Swarm. Cast on a 6, boosts up to a 10. It's a range 24 augment. Lasts 1 turn. Target's close combat attacks gain +1 to wound, and lethal strike if you boost it.
Yes.
For 6 +1 to wound, this is a really, really good spell.
It is.
+1 to wound is huge.
It is, but it's also an army that has a lot of, strength 3 attacks.
It does.
A few strength 4. So it doesn't have a lot of, in close combat, it doesn't have a lot of fighting capability.
Correct.
Unless you talk about, big,
and it's not
big gribbly.
Yeah, and this isn't burning through your armor.
Right. So while it's good, sometimes we have to look at it in the context. It's some of these lores. How does it work with the army when you have a restricted army? So I'm actually okay with this one, even though it's a very low casting value.
Yeah, but anyway, means there's nothing you're ever going to need a 6 to wound if you got this spell off.
Well, you have to get the spell and you have to get it off.
Correct.
So,
yeah. Understood. Anyway,
it's definitely one you want with the army if you're, with all your rats and your slaves and your swarms and everything, because otherwise they just don't do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I agree. Make that okay. I'm good with that.
Next is Defile the Ground.
Okay.
Is that a fancy way of saying I'm taking a leak? What what is that? Okay, casting value is 8.
There's always a lot of rat droppings whenever
that's
they're
true.
around.
That's what they could call us, rat droppings.
Rat droppings.
Yeah.
As the alternative name.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to start calling this when we talk to our normal Skaven opponent.
Exactly.
Casting value is 8. Range is 18. It's a ground spell. It's special.
Special duration.
Lasts until the beginning of the caster's next turn. Place a 3-inch template with its center on the selected target point, so the template is at least 1 inch away from any unit. If a unit touches the template while moving, every model in the unit treats all terrains, including open terrain, as dangerous terrain too.
Oof.
This does not affect units using fly movement.
So this is a blocking spell.
It's kind of a blocking spell, yeah.
I mean, as far as stopping somebody moving,
Well, it won't stop them, right?
slowing them down quite a bit.
It'll slow them down.
Because you're not taking a dangerous terrain too.
Just to walk.
With an entire unit.
Yeah. No.
You're not going to lose a third of your units to march.
Right. You just
Right?
so it'll make you do a normal move.
And it's a 3-inch template, so you can technically get 2 units with this.
You could, yes.
If you position it right. If they're squeezed together and you position it right.
Yes.
Because you're not going to be able to wheel around.
And it is
that
18
close.
also, so it's not.
It is fairly short, isn't
It
it?
is, closer. I mean, it may make somebody think twice about charging. I think that's the big.
Yeah. Yeah, but a nice spell.
It is a nice spell.
Number 3 spell, the Hunger. Cast on an 8, boost to 11, range of 12, boost to 24. It's an augment. This is a problem. Permanent.
Wait a minute.
Target gains Frenzy and +1 attack. Frenzy and +1
Yes.
attack.
So +2 attacks.
At the end of each of your close combat phases, unit suffers D6 strength 4 hits with armor piercing 6. Effects last until the unit loses Frenzy. For casting of 8 +2 attacks, this is fantastic for a little stupid unit of slaves that you don't care if you're losing D6 a turn.
Right. It's definitely for horde targets, no question about
It's for
that.
horde targets. I mean, because you're only adding the attacks to the front rank.
Right.
But for units that you don't care about, this is pretty nice. And if it's near the end of the game, you can cast it on that big unit. Your good, what is that, heavy hitting unit you have now.
Sure.
Because it's only going to hit you a couple turns before it goes
Right.
away.
Well, it's nothing. I said there's very little in the army. It's very heavy hitting. So
Right.
but yeah, no, I think it's a nice spell.
Yeah, good spell.
Helpful for the army once again to help them boost their fighting capability
Correct.
at a cost.
Yep.
Brings us to Storm's Call. Basic cast on a 9. Boosted version is a whole 10 more. A whole 1 more to a 10. It's a special. It lasts 1 turn. All units on the battlefield have -1 ballistic skill.
No, has.
Yeah. Yes. No flying movement can be used. This is very nice
Yeah.
versus a number of opponents.
Correct.
If you're playing against a ballistic skill-based army, a -1 can be a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
Especially if you're playing against a lot of ballistic skill 3 guys.
Well,
You
a
know.
lot of the highborn elf armies I'm seeing now are a lot of shooting and a lot of flyers.
Yeah, they do shooting well. So
This stops you from flying
yes, and then I was
on a
gonna say,
10.
and for 1 more point, no flying movement. That's at least it only lasts 1 turn. So,
Yeah, but you just regassed it.
but if you're relying on flying in your army lists, I kind of liked having a spell like this because it does deal with the flying monster armies that a lot of people
Correct.
have challenges with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a weapon to deploy against them. And it's not like it lasts more than 1 turn. So you just have to
That's
cast
true,
it regularly. And if you really want to fly, you're going to have to put the spell dice against it if they get it off. So I kind of like it.
I think it's a good spell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little conditional.
Yes. They don't have any flyers and don't have any ballistic skill shooting, and then it's
or
useless to you.
limited ballistic skill
Yes.
shooting, then it's almost a waste. But all right, that brings us to Crack the Earth. Cast on a 9.
Crack the earth.
Crack the Earth.
Yeah.
It's when you're really irritated.
Yes.
Cast on a 9, boost to a 12.
Is that what they mean by crack kills? Well, I think that's something else totally different.
Range is 18. Direct ground line template. Instant. Any model touched suffers 1 strength 6 hit with armor piercing 6 and multiple wounds D3 if you boosted it to 12. A model touch stuff. 18-inch. Yeah, that's nice.
It's okay.
That's nice. String 6 hit. 18-inch template.
The
Zap that through a unit, you're going to hit, what? If you hit them at an angle, you're going
You
to hit
hit 'em
10,
at an
12
angle.
guys?
You'll hit a few guys. I mean, it depends how deep
Well,
they are,
depending
of
on how
course.
deep and how wide they
Yeah,
are, but in
so-
what angle you're on. But
Yeah, they're close enough and all of that.
string 6 is fairly, it's going to hurt some
I think it's
guys.
nice on the on the 12, the multi wound, because
Correct.
then it's good against monsters.
Monstrous infantry stuff
Yeah,
and monsters.
but it is a high casting value to get that.
It is. But still a decent spell. I like it.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't think I don't think it's too good. I don't think it's bad. Brings us to the Uber spell, the bell tolls. For whom does the bell toll? Casting value is 11. Boosted version is 14. Range is 12 for the regular version. Relatively close. Range is 24 for the boosted version. It's direct, instant. Each model and target unit suffers one hit with toxic attacks. If this spell targets a unit engaged in combat, then all models involved in the same combat suffers one hit with toxic attacks instead.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Toxic attack is, what, the strength 3?
Strength 3, no armor save, right?
Strength 3, no armor save, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah, that's handy.
It's handy. It's
Yeah, toxic attacks are always strength 3 and armor piercing
Right.
6.
so it's a nice
Hits everyone in the model
spell.
unit.
Right.
Yeah, this is a good spell. I like this.
Yeah. 11, not too high, but 12 is pretty close. Of course,
12 is a short range.
you
Yeah.
can hide in the back if you want with these guys. if
Oh,
you
good
need to.
point.
Yeah. And the 14 is a pretty high casting value, but it can do the damage against a lot of low to medium toughness models, and if they have armor. So mounted guys don't like this. Kingdom of Equity doesn't like it because they'll only get a 6-up ward save.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what you were talking about earlier. This synergizes with the army in that they
Yes.
don't have high strength. So another way of dealing
Close
with armor
combat.
is to ignore
Right,
it.
right. I mean, they have shooting capability.
shooting is really
they
high
shoot
strength.
really well, but as far as their close combat, they don't have a lot of hard strength.
Right.
But yeah, but it's a good Uber spell.
Yeah. Anyway, and that will be the number 6 spell. So that's all of them, right?
It's all spells, yeah.
Casting costs, only 2 of them down below 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of rough.
Yeah, it's kind of midline. Nothing really high. Even a lot of the boosted ones aren't super high, except for the last one.
You're right. Yeah, nothing really low, but I mean, just those 2 really low ones,
Right.
and then yeah, this is a good lore
It's a good lore. I think it works well with the army.
with Skaven. It's a very good lore.
Yeah. Once again, I don't have any problem with anything here. I think it fits. If there's any challenges, it's with the army itself, not with this lore.
Not with this lore.
They've done a good job, though, I think, of working this. I do think the base spell's a little too cheap for what it does.
D6 strength 5,
Yeah.
even with the 6 where it wounds you. Actually,
Yes.
it only calls you a strength 5 hit, but most of the vermin are toughness 3, right?
3. The characters are 4, so
Yeah.
and then the feed the swarms, another one where the casting value is maybe a little scary on the base value.
Yes, I agree.
But generally speaking, I think it works well with the army. Yeah, Statler gives it a thumbs up.
Waldorf's going to do the same. It's a thumbs up for this path, the path of ruin.
Yes,
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
I feel dirty just talking about it.
That's because of the defile the ground thing.
Exactly.
Sorry, I
That
defiled
was-
that ground.
Yes.
All right. We got to go. Bye.